Hello everybody, welcome to the first weekly video update. I'm going to go over the discussion posts from the introduction, talking about yourself and your person of integrity that you guys listed, as well as talking about the Chapter 1 discussion post about cynicism. A couple quick things. I just want to make sure you guys are aware of some topics as far as the syllabus and as far as what you should expect from these discussion posts. Our GA, Gannon Boncaldo, which is information is now in the syllabus, and you guys should have been made aware of it. He's gone ahead and started grading the first couple things that are already due. So you're starting to start seeing some grades get posted. If you have any questions about those grades, please let Gannon know. He's going to be the person that's going to take charge for the grading process for the discussion posts. If there are any discrepancies, he's going to go ahead and elevate those to me. But you need to make sure you go to Gannon first. With that being said, some things you guys need to know about the posts in general. The expectation for you guys is that you try and do as much as you can and try and create something and add to discussions. So when you create your own posting, it should be something that has some kind of actual meaning for what's going on. Don't just answer the question and say in a two-word answer and be done with it, or else you're not going to get full credit. The other part of that is that you're actually expected to respond to other students as well. Basically, the more effort you put into this discussion post, the better off your grade is going to be. So you'll see some of the grades that come in, if they're not what you expected, something that maybe you left shorter answers or didn't add anything to the discussions. Gannon's going to be running through those and making sure that everybody's on the same page, make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Make sure that you're actually reading the directions for some of these things. When we get into future chapters, Chapter 2, for example, has some things that you're supposed to do ahead of time on your own, not necessarily things that you need to post inside of the discussion post, but things that you need to answer for yourself that'll help you out with working towards answering the question the way that we're expecting you to. Make sure you do answer each of the questions. One thing I did notice about several of you guys is that when we asked you about what your score was and where you were, you kind of skipped over a lot of that part. Not saying that you actually had to post what your actual score was, but you kind of glossed over or went completely beyond what what we were asking. So it's something that you're going to miss some points on stuff like that if you don't follow directions. That's important moving forward. The more that you can actually follow the directions and see what it is that we're actually looking for in the questions, the better off you're going to be. With that being said, let's go ahead and get down to some of the introductions and what's going on. I know several of you, and I've had several of you in class, so I know a little bit about most of you. What I did like seeing is some of the introductions. A lot of you guys do have work experience. Some of you guys have kids. It's always good to get different perspectives than what your normal age group is for the undergrad classes. So that's good. It was also interesting with regards to your person of integrity. A lot of you put family members, which is expected, mothers, fathers, grandparents. They all have very influential meanings to each of our lives, so it's something that's very important to us. A lot of people also put best friends, and this is something that speaks to how we kind of create the friends and the people that we have around us, is that we look for those people that have the same ideals, the same trust, the same integrity, and the same values that we have, and that's how we create our friends and create the people that we want to have around us and then the groups that we want to be a part of. So that's a good thing. As far as getting into Chapter 1 in the discussion section, we're looking for you guys to complete the cynicism quotient on your own and kind of take a look at how that played out and what it meant to you. Is it something that it surprised you? Is it something that tells you about something different than what you might expect? Is it something that said exactly what you expected? And how does your cynicism kind of play into what your feelings are throughout about society, about businesses, about organizations? So we're looking at things like, have you been cynical about the businesses and its leaders? Why or why not? How does cynicism affect how you handle things and how you do things? Does it affect you as a student? Some of the classes you're taking. Then I asked you guys to name some instances and give some examples about some different sources of your cynicism, where it comes from, and that's pretty, kind of goes along with what we had for the person of integrity. The people that you've been around, the people that you associate yourself with, is where you get a lot of what how you feel about things. Now, the average score for this was right around 30, 31, so it's something that people are just a slightly above average cynical, above average cynicism. So that's something that again is sort of expected. So it's something that throughout, like most of you guys had mentioned, social media, news outlets, constantly seeing and hearing about organizations and different people that are doing things that are unethical and doing things that are illegal, hurting people, hurting the environment, doing things like that are things that skew and that make us change what our opinions are about society in general. So it's something that we have to make sure that we're aware of that and make sure, and it looks like you guys are for the most part. Excuse me, for some of you guys that didn't feel as cynical, some of you guys had different messages out there that said, I try to be trusting of everyone until they give me a reason not to be, which is a very good thing to do, but it's something that you find more and more rare in society and in businesses in general. You get people that want to be or that kind of have the mentality of that you need to earn trust and earn that integrity. So that's something we want to make sure we're looking at and seeing how businesses react, how the culture of an organization is that you might be working for, or the culture of the university that you're around. Is it something where your professors are trusting? Is it something where your professors are looking at students and thinking, oh, I wonder who's going to be cheating this time? Or is it something where they say, look, I've got good, honest students, and we try to enroll the people and allow people to be in our university that are going to prove themselves to be very good, wholesome, integrity-filled people. But it's interesting stuff. A lot of you seem like you had a pretty good idea about where your cynicism quotient was, and it's a good thing. Good to know what your values are. Good to know kind of where you stand in regard to other things. But again, good start to everything. Make sure you guys are paying attention to some of these things, and make sure you're paying attention for future discussion posts about examples from your work, examples from the books, examples from some of these cases you're going to look at, and think about who some of the people are that are involved. Understand how some of these situations happen and who all is involved. The better you can understand who all is involved and who the stakeholders are and who the people are that are associated with some of these things, the better off you're going to be. So the next video is going to cover chapters 2 and 3, which will also cover the Pinto Fires cases and some of the questions you're going to need to do ahead of time for that. So make sure you're reading the questions thoroughly. Make sure you're doing a good job of preparing for these things ahead of time. Get all the directions. Make sure you read them thoroughly again and prepare some of those responses, and make sure you're doing a thorough job of getting those posted. The other thing you want to make sure you're doing is looking at other people's responses and making sure to see if they're getting a different feel for what's going on with these cases, and if they are, why. Try and understand how some other people are thinking and what some other people's thought processes are based on what their responses are, and then respond to those posts. Remember, you need to respond to at least one post and do so in a good manner, adding something to the conversation in order to get your full credit. Again, any questions that come up in the meantime, please email myself, email Gannon about any grading issues, and we'll help you out as best as we can. Thanks.